Fellas, what's up? We are back
You already know.
with another episode of Sit and Talk Sports. You know, I appreciate you guys. No one less. Roxbury Aaron and my guy AD. Dorchester AD.
Yes, sir.
Over there going for his masters, man. Right? Going for your masters, right?
Yeah, my guy.
Shout out to my man AD. Definitely putting in hard work in the books, doing this 1-2, man.
Appreciate y'all.
You know it all day. Just want to let y'all know, man. I appreciate you guys every time you guys jump on and put your time into what we're doing over here. So everybody that's watching, please subscribe to Sit and Talk Sports. It's very important. We fill up these subscribers, and you know everybody's very important to us right now. We need you guys to subscribe and understand what this movement is about. We are way more than just sports. We talk all kinds of shit on here. But I'm gonna let Noah take it away right now.
You already know, man. We back for another installment. You see the guys, man. We got Les back, AD back, AC back. I think we got a special guest joining us today. Fellas, we got a lot of stuff to get into this week, man. And I think we're gonna start with the trouble in paradise. We definitely gonna start with the trouble in paradise. Last couple of weeks, we all been taking this KC woes. We've been taking them with a grain of salt. I don't know if I could do that no more. I mean, they had to go see another AFC big dog, and it didn't look too well for them. I know me and AD been real confident in them, so we gotta get into that. Les, how you feel about KC, man? You worried or you not worried? What's going on with them out there?
They're going to be fine. They have the talent. They have regardless of what people are saying, the best quarterback in the game. He's got to calm down a little bit. I'll say that much, and he'll adjust. You know, teams with talent will balance out. The teams without talent will balance out, and things will balance out, and they'll be fine.
All right. Nice and simple. AC, my brother, what up, man? How you feel about KC? I know you're going to have some choice words for us. We can't hear you, brother.
Hear me?
Unmute yourself.
It's not on mute.
There we go.
No,
We got you.
You're good. You're good.
Roxbury's loud and clear.
All right, so pretty much I said this about basketball and about other sports. KC lost the Super Bowl last year. Historically, every single team that loses the championship round, they don't rebound the same way. So far, you know, you had San Antonio in 2014. And I can show receipts. I can show you our receipts if I want to. If you want to see them, I have a 6, 7, 8-team parlay from yesterday. KC's not on my board. Because that game, KC was 3.5 favorites, and all the momentum swung to Buffalo. And so although I didn't think Buffalo was going to win like that, I didn't bet that game in any of my parlays. So, like, I lost with Oakland, but I didn't bet KC, and I think KC's in trouble because I think next year it'll be good, but this year, just because the competition is so weak, of course they make the playoffs and everything, but losing that Super Bowl, it takes a while to recover. And people need to, statistically, it rings true across every sport.
Great points, AC. We're going to transition from AC to AD real smooth. Like, AD, what up with it, man? What's going on out there at Arrowhead?
Man, I'm worried about them. The reason why I'm worried about them is because they're the worst defensive team in the NFL. They're giving up 33 points a game. If you want to be exact, it's 32.6 a game. The secondaries is in shambles. They have no communication, too many big plays, too many breakdowns. And that's just the defense. And then if you want to point the finger at Patrick Mahomes, he already has more turnovers this year than he had the entire year last year. So that kind of goes back to what I said previously about that I have so much talent, we're so good, we can overcome everything. I don't think Kansas City really realized they should be in panic mode. And it might be too late for them. I don't think it is. But as of today, I definitely don't have them even going to the AFC Championship.
Wow. Man, Fellas, we got a special guest. It's only proper that we acknowledge him proper. Ralph, what up, man? You here with the guys, man. S&T Sports, you know what it is. We heard you was on board today. But we're touching on right now, Ralph. Number one subject of the day, man. We looking at, is there trouble in paradise? What's going on in Kansas City? What's going on with the Chiefs? Are we panicked? Should we panic? Should we not panic? What's going on?
I think Kansas City, they need to consider panicking. I think the problem with their roster is they're too top heavy. They're like, what, about 8 players deep, I'd say, about 8 players. And if any one of them dudes go down, they're done. Outside of Kelsey and Hill, they don't have any legit offensive threats. I like they're not developing anybody else. McCall Hardman has been a disappointment. Hilaire has fumbleitis. And
MCL too.
Exactly. It just Josh Gordon's been done for 3 years. I don't see it. Josh Gordon's
pick
been
up
done
a
for
crackhead. Yeah.
He said he was smoking crack.
No, if you pick up a crackhead, you got problems. Period.
Then defensively, they're a 3-man team on defense. They got Honey Badger, Clark, and Chris Jones. Chris Jones is their best player by far. He did not play last night. However, Frank Clark is about to go to jail at some point in time. It's only a matter of time before he goes to jail. So I'm not sure how they're going to come back from this. The secondary is atrocious, and that's being nice. Swanson, the safety, I don't know who he's blackmailing to keep his job, but he's terrible. I don't know what he was looking at. That touchdown to Knox, he just like, oh, whose man is that?
He stopped running. He stopped playing.
Yeah, he's like, and he got mad at everybody else. Like, what are you watching? They can't see got issues. I don't see them coming back.
He never could cover though.
But it's even worse now. He made occasional plays, but now it's even worse. I think their division has caught up to him and possibly passed him. They're like I said, they're too top heavy. They have no depth at all.
Well, that's what happens when you pay your quarterback $50 million.
True.
$500 million.
Every time.
$500 million.
So Ralph, let me ask you a question.
$50 million a year. That's why AC said that. $50 million a year. It's 500 though.
Ralph, let me ask you a question. Do you have KC in the playoffs?
Hold on, real quick, Les. Ralph, I just want to kind of tip my hat that I'm not came in real spicy. We like that over here at S&T. We like the hot takes. We like the different opinions. Welcome.
What is going on?
Welcome to the gang. Les, what would you say? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Don't worry about it. Ralph, let me ask you a question. Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
No, and it might be in their best interest. It might be in their best interest not to. Long term, I should say. I think they have too many. Patrick Mahomes has to be Superman every game, and the blueprint is out. Double Kelsey, double Hill, and make McCall Hardman beat you. Which, in case y'all haven't noticed, he's incapable of doing so. Or Pringle, or a bunch of other guys no one knows the name to. They just don't have it. Like I said, they have no depth, and it's catching up to them. I don't see how they rebound from this. On top of the fact that San Diego looks
1 second, fellas.
amazing. They look amazing. I don't. Even if they make the playoffs, it's not going to be worth it. I don't see them winning the game. I don't think the Bills are as good as they were last night. I think, like I said, the game would have been much different if Chris Jones played, but I still don't see Kansas City being a viable option in the playoffs. It's in their best interest, in my opinion, to lose this year, get a top 10 pick, and then go ahead next year. That's just my opinion.
So let me ask you this, Ralph. Let me ask you this.
I'm moderate, but I got to chime in real quick. My man Ralph got a little too spicy. Casey's not making the playoffs. You know there's an extra playoff team this year, right?
I'm aware.
And they're not going to make the playoffs?
It's quite possible.
I'm going to let you retract that in a little while. We're going to let you retract that in a little while. AD,
No.
AD, talk to me, though.
No, I was going to ask Ralph, like, so you think a team that spent all that money should basically tank the season not to go to the playoffs?
Well, look, if you're talking about long term, are they going to – I look at it like this. I'm not interested in moral victories. Cool, okay? So I'm not interested in going to the playoffs, losing the first or second round. That's realistically where they're at right now.
Yes.
Unless they somehow miraculously pull off some type of, Bill Belichick, Randy Moss for a 5th round pick type of trade. They have to pull something out of a hat, and I just don't see that happening. If they do pull that off, then I'll change. But maybe they should have got Gilmore. They got to do something. I don't see where the help is coming from. I just don't see it.
I think what they have going for them is they have a good coach. They have the quarterback, and let's be honest, if you have a great quarterback, you have a chance. Now, are they going to win the Super Bowl? No. But what I took Noah's question as, should their fans panic? Is this team going to be a playoff contender? And yes, they're going to be a playoff contender.
They're in the playoffs. Yeah, they're
going to be. The only question.
You missed it real quick. Ralph said they're not going to the playoffs. Ralph came in a little too spicy.
I heard that.
I don't know what kind of shit he using, but that's too much.
Yeah, that was so much. It cut off my audio. As soon as he said that shit, my audio cut off.
I don't know what the Africans use. AD the hot soup, something too spicy. Too spicy.
Yeah. And the thing is though, Noah, he's not just talking. He's making some points, but the problem is in the NFL. Well, not the problem. The good thing about the NFL, if you have the quarterback and you have the coach, you're going to contend for the playoffs.
I mean, this is the same exact nucleus that got them to the Super Bowl the last 2 years. They've been the AFC representative in the Super Bowl with this exact same nucleus. So I mean, not even to cliche it, but if it really ain't broke, don't fix. Like, I'm still waiting to see what happens in the playoffs.
Who's to say the Chargers are going to keep up this pace? They lost. They lost to Seattle. Seattle is a good team. They're a good team. They barely beat the Rams. I mean, all these teams are up and down all year long. We don't really know who's who usually in the NFL until about the halfway point.
That's why we're going week by week, Les.
Yeah. And check out the so I just put up their schedule. So they got Washington next week. That should be a win. They got the Titans.
Just looking at that 80. Thanks.
They got the Giants at home.
Aaron.
They got Packers. They're on the road to the Raiders. They got the Cowboys at home. They got the Broncos, Raiders again, Chargers on the road, Steelers at home, Bengals on the road, and Broncos on the road. They're making the playoffs.
Easily.
Yeah, look at the rating schedule.
At worst, they're going to split with all the AFC West teams. At worst. And then they got some teams in there that they're definitely going to beat.
But Les, that AFC West is all right now. Like, everybody acting like the AFC West ain't tough. Like, it's
right now they're all right.
They got the Broncos. They beat the Broncos easy. So you're looking at 2 wins right there.
San Diego plays them tough all the time, and San Diego just beat them.
Right.
San Diego will be tough, but you got to win at Washington. You got to win at the Titans, and then you got the Giants. They're going to win 3 in a row, and then we won't be talking about this anymore.
Right.
It's not a given that they're going to beat Tennessee.
Right now, AC? Prisoners of the moment?
Absolutely. They're making, like I said, they're not the same team because they lost the Super Bowl, but in terms of making the playoffs with this, I hate this extra game. But with this extra game and the time they have to recover, they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. So if I'm a KC fan, I'm not panicking.
No, like Ralph said. Like Ralph said, if they do make the playoffs, like they're going to cap out at the second round at the most. They're not even making it to the AFC Championship.
Is that a bad thing?
As of today, fellas, like what remember now.
I can't argue that. No, I wouldn't argue that, but the playoffs are different than making it to the AFC Championship. So they're making the playoffs.
And that's why I keep saying that, because I don't think they're going to be in the final. I don't think they're going to be in the Final Four. I really don't.
We're gonna segue out of this right into something convenient. But the last thing I'm gonna say about KC is you still got to outscore them. That's the last thing I'm gonna say about it. You're still gonna have to outscore them, and there's not very many teams that can do that. We're gonna transition right into their opponents yesterday. Are the Buffalo Bills the best team in the AFC?
Yeah, I think they might be.
No,
they might be.
I don't know.
That defense is really good. I mean, they might be. Their defense is really good. You know, I mean, everyone's kind of looking at the Chargers now because they're pretty sexy, but
they're not the best team. Chargers.
I don't know. I think they almost did it last year. You know, they probably want it more even now. They can stay healthy. The quarterback's getting better every year. I think they got a shot. I think they might be the best team as of today.
Yes. As of today, the piggyback off Les. As of today, I got the Buffalo Bills as the best team in the AFC and the team to beat.
I would have to go Ravens.
And the reason why I don't have the Ravens, even though they just got hot, but that Bills defense is tremendous right now. Until they show me they're not playing that same type of defense down the line, I'm gonna have to go with the Bills because that offense is potent. They got big plays, and what people don't give Josh Allen credit for is his scrambling ability. Like he's a really good scrambler, and he's gotten better over the last 2 years with the turnovers. So that's why I have them as the best team as of week 5.
How do you defend the Bills for the folks that say no? Like, how do you slow them down? Like, what do you do?
My question for anyone saying that they are is Ralph just said that KC lacks depth and is maybe one-dimensional. Outside of Diggs and Allen, who's anybody afraid of in Buffalo? I'm not afraid of nobody out there. Knox is
You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid of him, but he
Who's
gets
out
it
there?
done. He gets it done. Emmanuel Sanders gets it done for him.
Emmanuel Sanders is helpful.
Beasley catches some key passes. Singleton every now and then gets loose and does something with the ball.
Nobody has ever game planned for Cole Beasley ever.
No, but if you're game planning to stop Diggs and you're game planning to stop other people, that leaves Cole Beasley to get open. I mean, I'm not saying Cole Beasley is some amazing guy, but he doesn't suck. He can get open, and I think they're solid on both sides of the ball. They can run the ball, they can pass it, they can defend really good. I mean, that's the formula, really. I mean, unless you got a super human quarterback. I mean,
if you look at the question that you're posing right now, first thing you said are the Bills the best team? Long ass pause. That's telling you that they ain't the best team. If they were the best team, there's no long ass pause to try to figure it out. And to me, although my stance on running quarterbacks is clear, I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. To top to bottom, the Ravens are the best team. And I think you see that. I think you see it tonight.
You just contradicted yourself with your own logic.
How?
You just said that you don't believe a running quarterback can win a Super Bowl. I've heard you say that. I've seen you written that. And Lamar Jackson's a running quarterback.
No, but I'm talking about right now.
I don't think he said he likes the team. I don't think he said that
in the AFC.
He just
my
said
fault. I take that
the
back.
Best team right now. That's what he said.
Right.
That's what I thought I heard. So
in the AFC, Baltimore is the best team. So if you're asking me who's the best team in the NFL, clearly it's Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't think there's no debate about it. Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah. Because
what about the Cardinals?
That's very debatable.
No. The Cardinals are not the best team. No.
How?
Because do you trust Kyle? Do you trust Kyler in the playoffs? You trust them to win the way that they've been winning? And I bet on them yesterday. This is someone who's made good money on Arizona right now.
I'm kind of glad you brought that up because I actually got if the playoffs was to start today, that's why I got in the Final Four. I got Tampa against Arizona,
and Tampa will wax completely and utterly.
In a playoff, I don't think they will wax them, and this is why, because you're not giving Arizona's defense credit. Like they get after them quarterbacks, and Brady being stationary is a big problem. With
Brady's been stationary for 20 years.
Career.
I understand. Hey, we understand that Brady doesn't move. We all understand that. We all watch sports. We get it. But what I'm saying is, we also watch the Giants get to Brady in 2 Super Bowls, and Brady doesn't have those rings.
Do you think Arizona has the front four like the Giants had?
No,
similar.
They don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have this. They don't have the names, but I don't think they're as good. But they are good though. Like let's not.
Okay, they are good, but they're going to need to be that good to do what you're saying. And I think Tampa has a great O line. I think Tampa, when Gronk gets back healthy, is going to add another. It's going to bring that element back. They have options to throw all over the field. I mean, Dude, if I had to put money on it right now, I'd have Tampa beating them by 10.
Tampa Bay
by at least 10.
Easy.
That's
Real
not what I'm
quick,
saying,
hold
though,
on.
fellas. That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on, fellas. We took a little bit of a left. Let's get back on to the main road.
Yo, thank goodness for Noah. You can't say that often. He's driving this ship good. He's driving this ship
Big
good.
moderator. You heard?
No, he threw that Arizona stuff in.
So-
Of course, it was going to go.
We're gonna get back onto this so we can move on to the next question. Because the next question is y'all already segued into the next question, but we're gonna wrap this up real quick. Les, Bills best team in the AFC, yes or no?
Yes.
AD, Bills best team in the AFC, yes or no?
Yes.
AC, Bills best team, yes or no?
No.
Ralph, Bills best
No.
team, yes or no?
Nope.
I'm going to say no also. We're going to move on. We'll talk back in that later.
Damn, that just ruined my joke.
Appreciate that. We're going to get right into it, man. Y'all kind of already hinted at it. We got to talk about the NFL's only undefeated team. Let's talk about Kyler Murray, obviously the front runner for MVP. He's got his team playing real good ball, a lot of weapons. Defense is playing crazy.
Is he the front runner for MVP?
Is he not? Kyler Murray's not the front runner for MVP?
I don't know.
Brady, baby?
That's what I got, Les, because Brady's
Yeah.
on the same pace as he is in 07. He has 15 touchdowns.
And you know what?
already.
I mean,
and you know what? Don't sleep on
Brady,
what's his
you don't
name
get the
on.
LeBron effect with Brady. Brady should have won it 1,000 times. They're not just going to keep giving it to the same person. Brady deserves it damn near every year, but they're not going to keep giving it to him the same way.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
LeBron deserves 10.
He's
got
44.
4. Brady deserves 10. He's got 3. You see
He does.
they're not-
All that's right.
I
But he's
get
got
what you're saying.
44 right now.
But for right now, you think Murray's numbers are better than Brady's?
It's not about the
Or
numbers.
you just saying that because they're undefeated?
MVP isn't about who's better. I'm not saying Kyler Murray's better than Brady. I'm saying he's more valuable to that.
You hear what I just asked you, big bro?
They're undefeated.
So I asked you,
Mhm.
are you saying that because Arizona is undefeated?
Of course, they factor that in.
Okay, that's all I'm saying, because it's not by the numbers, because Brady
Well, they're not
got
going to
it.
remain undefeated. They're going to lose some games.
I didn't say
We all know that, Les.
I'm not.
We all know
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So I'm looking at Brady.
I don't know that Tom Brady is a front runner per se.
Spicy Ralph.
I don't know that Brady is a front runner per se. However, I think Arizona is the best team in the NFC right now. I think they could beat Tampa because Tampa has a huge Achilles heel. Their
What's
secondary, their secondary is trash. It is
Yeah.
They're
absolutely
hurt
awful.
right now.
They're injured.
Because
Yeah, secondary.
but they're not coming back. That's the issue. They're not.
They're not
all
coming back for the
out
rest of the
year.
season.
They're all done for the year.
No, that's
No.
a fair point.
I
didn't hear that.
No.
I thought they were done for the year. That's what I checked.
No.
Davis, Carlton Davis. I think he's done for the year.
Davis is done for 4 weeks. He's on the IR. You go on the
Just a
IR.
chest injury. Just a
Even-
little chest injury.
Even
out for 4 to 6
even with that, Sherman is the other starting cornerback.
And they just got Dean
You
back.
put-
Dean
you
Dean
think-
had an interception yesterday.
You think Sherman can check DeAndre Hopkins?
It's
No.
not
Trust
all we can check.
But if I'm not
No.
mistaken, Sherman's never been
No,
the back to follow someone all across the field. He's going to play his
But
side
even
of
if
the
he's
field.
not, but look at Arizona's receiving core. They got some studs.
They do.
Yeah.
Hopkins, Kirk, and Green. They're all playing well.
You're forgetting one thing. Who's the Arizona coach?
I get what you're
There
saying.
you go. It's
Yes.
Cliff Clinsbury.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, is Clinsbury going to out?
But we don't know yet. We haven't seen it. I don't know yet.
We don't need to. We do know he's not.
You know what? I think
we do that.
honestly,
So there you go.
I don't know
don't
if you guys are doing this subconsciously because they beat Tampa, but that Tampa team was looking ahead to New England. I believe that they would have won that game if those circumstances wasn't there.
Against
And
the
as a
Rams?
Patriot, I am for real. And as a Patriots fan, and these guys will tell you, I pride myself on being extremely objective. And I have personally thought the Pats were done multiple times and was wrong. You know why? Because Tom bleeping Brady GOAT. And when you have Tom, all right, word. You got Tom, maybe.
And let me.
You got Tom fucking Brady on the team, dog.
Oh,
So
the
you
bleeping.
you can't. I'm not betting against Brady. I'm just not. I've
What did
seen
you
it
turn
go.
around and look for when you say that?
My
You're going to
kids.
get in trouble? Okay. All right. Okay, I get that. But let me point something out.
AC, why you just bring that up?
Every year. Tom wins every other year.
Yo, they be sneaking in here.
Arizona is about to lose 3 of the next 4 games, I think.
Wow.
I look at their schedule. They might lose 3 of the next 4. They might lose 3 out of 3 of the next 4 games when you look at their schedule.
Playing AC next 4 games? Who they playing?
So they got the Browns on the road. Who the Browns should have won that fucking game yesterday. I had money on the Browns.
Too bad.
They should have beat the Packers. But
Too bad.
They got the Browns on the road. They got the Texans at home. That's a win. Then they got the Packers at home. I think the Packers can. That's going to be a pick'em game right there. If the spread is 5, I'll be shocked. That's a 3-point spread on that. And then they're on the road to the. Then they're on the road to the 49ers.
AC, man.
The spread is important. The spread is very important.
The Packers are shaky though. They barely beat the Bengals last night. They're really shaky.
No, I just said the Bengals should have won that. The Bengals should have won that game. But the Packers on the road, Arizona, Cliff Kingsbury, and then you got the Cardinals going to 49ers with the kid now having 3-4 weeks of starting. I'm not a Trey Lance guy per se, but now that he's going to have a couple games under his belt,
These chips.
I don't know. I have no full opinion.
I think playing Tampa in the playoffs is going to be a lot different than
Right
playing
now, I
Tampa
think
in regular
crazy.
season. And I think, and I like Kyler Murray a lot. Like a couple of weeks ago, I said he's like Russell Wilson 2.0 in my humble opinion. So there's no shade to the man, but that's Brady, and Brady's different. And that dude has seen any defense you can humanly possibly throw at him. And he's got people to throw to. He's got an offensive line. They're going to put up points against Arizona. Is
Arizona better?
That would be a shootout. It would be a shootout. That's no question.
And I think that type of pressure, I don't know if Murray's ready for it.
Right, but we're just talking as of today. We're not talking about in week 19. We're just going off of today.
Well, they just beat Tampa the other day. I mean, it's
still Tampa. It's still Tampa, regardless. It's still Tampa right now.
AC, I ain't mad at you for saying that. I'm not. I'm just going. Go ahead.
Real quick, 17-game season this year. Arizona's currently 5-0. I want to hear y'all final win-loss, final record projections. What we doing?
The 17-game season.
I got mine.
We're gonna start with Les. We're gonna go in this order.
12-5, maybe.
Excuse me.
12-5.
12-5. Wow.
Good. 17, right?
Yeah, 17 games.
Yeah,
12-5. So you have been going 7-5 the next 12 games?
Damn.
They might hit a losing streak. Yeah. I mean, we're not even at the halfway point.
Hey, I'm not going to talk you out of it, Les.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that.
Okay, cool. They're going 7-5 next 12 games. They are pretenders. They are not contenders. AD, what up, man? Final projection, 17 games.
I got them going 13-4.
13-4. That's reasonable. So far over 5 games. Spicy Ralph, man. Sprinkle that pickles on us one time, though. What's up?
I got them losing. I'm looking at the schedule. I got them losing to the Browns. I got them losing to the Panthers. I got losing to.
Is Christian McCaffrey gonna be back for that game? You think?
Thank you.
Probably. But that'll be the first game of Gilmore, and I think they're gonna have a crazy secondary when Gilmore starts.
Shit,
okay.
Last time I seen Gilmore, he got torched by Parker. I want to hear that shit.
Yikes.
Yeah, but Gilmore's gonna be going against like Christian Kirk. Like I think he can handle this.
He's gonna be looking for a new contract.
So
yeah,
Ralph,
I think he's gonna play real well.
Ralph, give me the records projection, man. What you got the record at?
I got 4 losses. I see 4 losses.
You got him at 13-4.
13-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I'm only one off, Noah. I'm only one off if from these dudes.
Les, my job.
Yo, but that one less.
It's
I don't
critical
see
in
them
NFC.
at 12-5. I don't think they're like a number 1 or a number 2 seed with a 12-5.
I think they're gonna lose some. I think they're gonna split some games in their own division.
I mean, I'm not bad. I mean, no one is
they absolutely.
No one is going crazy. Y'all are within 1 game. Anything too crazy, I'm gonna have to talk about it. But y'all ain't saying nothing too crazy. AC, man, final record projection.
They're 12-5. I got them losing at the Cowboys. I got them losing at Seattle. I got them losing at the Browns.
Will Russ be back for that game?
I think Russ is out 6-8 weeks, maybe 6 to 8.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back for that because that's a late game.
Okay,
that's a late game. That's a later game. So that's at the end of November. So I think he'll be back for that.
Yeah, he's only out a month. He's got a little finger. He'll be back
At the end of November. So I got them losing there. And also, one of these games that we don't think, so they got the Rams at home. I don't have that as a guarantee. And for some reason, the Bears, I thought yesterday was a fluke because of the Gruden shit. But they're on the road at the Bears. Do they automatically win that game when it's cold? That's a game. That's a trap game that I wouldn't, I would take off my board in terms of putting the wager on. That's a tough game.
Okay. I'm gonna get at a half.
So 12-5. 12-5.
I got them at 12-5 too, AC. So you already know how we rocking. Fellas, that brings us right into our next topic, man. Who is the best team in the NFC? We kind of been hinting at it. We're gonna kind of
Tampa
and get into it. We're gonna start counterclockwise this time. We're gonna start with Mr. Roxbury himself. Actually, I can't even call you Mr. Roxbury because Rufus might be listening. Shout out to Dr. Rufus, my guy.
Before we get into that, right? Are we projecting it for this? Are we doing it just for this week, or are we for the entire year?
Best team in the NFC. However y'all want to manage it. I mean, like right now, who's the best team? Who do y'all? You know what? We're gonna put a little of Ralph Saison on there, a little of the Pickleys on there. Who is playing in the NFC champion? Excuse me. Who is representing the NFC in the Super Bowl? Who's the best team? That's what I mean. That's
very simple. Very simple. It's Tampa Bay, and I said it last year. When you look at Tampa's team last year, anyway, they weren't that good. They were winning because of Tom Brady. Now they have a top 5 defense. They got a better team. They got a better team, and they still have Tom Brady. So if you look at the Patriots, somehow because Tom didn't play defense, Tom didn't run the football. Somehow with Tom Brady gone, the Patriots are fumbling the fucking football. 12 men on the field and all kinds of stuff.
The curse of the Messiah, baby.
Brady picks up a lot of crap. And so when you look at Tampa, some of the stuff that they're doing, because Bruce Arians, we talked about coaches. Bruce Arians is not a good coach. Like, remember last year, he started out having Tom Brady throw 50-yard bombs until Tom Brady himself was like, dog, this shit is stupid. I'm not doing that. I can't do that. So why is the offense, where I'm throwing 50, 60 yards down the field, I'm going to run the offense that I want to run, and then we'll win. So they won despite of their coach in that case. And you look at the rest of the NFC, and like I said, I don't bet or I don't make predictions based on one single factor. You have to factor in the rest of the NFC. So the Packers coach, trash. Arizona coach, trash. Every other team that might be a contender either has a young quarterback or a trash coach or some combination of the other. So all Tampa has to do is not get hurt, and they will walk into the Super Bowl. Right. And they'll walk into the Super Bowl. Looks like they'll probably have home field, and they'll walk to the Super Bowl. So I'm curious to see if there's anybody else who thinks that there's a better team in the NFC than Tampa Bay.
I'm just set the precursor right now. You got Spicy Ralph right next to you, so we automatically going right to Spicy Man. Shout out to my man SR, Spicy Ralph. Yo, go ahead, son. Say something crazy.
Listen, I got those dudes from St. Louis or LA rather, the Rams. I think the Rams can beat the Bucks. I think they will beat the Bucks. The only way they don't win is if they have to play Kyler Murray in the playoffs. Then they're not going to do it. But other than that, if they can avoid the Cardinals, I got the Rams beating the Bucks.
Man.
They're stacked.
Shout out my man Pickleys. Man, let me just spin it right on up to my man AD. Get a little more rational, get a little more sensible. My dog AD. What up, man? Who's representing the NFC? Who's the best team in the NFC?
I mean, since y'all said who's going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, like Les said, how can you go against Tom Brady? The man who won almost 80% of his career games. Like,
I gotta see it. I gotta see it before I believe it. AD, I gotta see it happen before I believe it.
Y'all realize one thing about Tom Brady? He seems to win every other year, like the Spurs. Every other year, he doesn't do back to back.
No,
what are you talking about? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's done it twice.
He got two back to backs. He got two back to backs. 02 and 03.
Okay.
He got a ring. They missed the playoffs and went 97, and then they went back to back.
Yeah.
That was one time.
No,
Right,
twice.
but you just
They
said he
did it
don't do
twice.
back to backs. He
That was
does
one
back.
time.
He has back
He
to
doesn't
back.
do it consistently, is what I mean.
Who
Dude,
does?
Dude,
Who does?
I
Nobody.
was about to say that. Like,
Well,
come
you,
on. Like, what
Ralph.
do you? Come on, you're not being fair. Come on, Ralph. You're not being
Yeah,
fair.
It's
Yo,
every
I
other
gotta
year
sit
Tom Brady.
forward.
Well, who does?
People.
I can see what I call you
Hey,
spicy, Ralph.
wait.
Yo,
You know
Brady
who
did it
does?
You gotta be
twice.
careful. I know these boys will extinguish you. You gotta be
You know
on
who
point.
does?
The shit gotta
LeBron
be right.
does.
Who?
Dude,
LeBron
we're
what?
talking.
No,
Come on, we're
no,
talking
no. We're not
football,
talking.
man.
We're
Come on,
not
we're talking
talking
football.
LeBron.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do
Ah,
that.
God.
No, but Brady did it twice. Not only did he do it twice, but he should have had a three-peat if
I would call
Belichick
it
didn't throw versus Philadelphia. And I would take it even further back. If the dumbass refs called a touchback on Champ Bailey in Denver, he would have done it. He would have had 2 three-peats.
I'm still pissed
That
about
was
it. Still
that touchback when Ben, what was his name? I
He
just
threw the
forgot.
pick.
Ben
Yeah,
You
Watson.
when
talking
Ben
about when he threw
Watson,
the pick? Yeah,
when
when he
Ben
threw the
Watson
pick.
chased that man, that shit happened literally 15 years ago,
The
and I can
original-
remember
the
it clear
original
as
DK
day.
Metcalf.
That man, Ben
Yeah.
Watson, ran him down, knocked it out, and the refs had already called it. The refs had stopped running. That was a touchback, and the Patriots would have won that game, and he would have got a three-peat. 2 three-peats. Forget back-to-back, which he's done twice, not once. But forget back-to-back, he would have got 2
Once.
three-peats.
I mean,
Twice. He did it twice.
Done whatever he wanted, as long as y'all know we went upside that head 2 times. Les, is it even worth asking you? I already know how you rocking.
Well, I'm gonna go with Tampa, but you know what? I'm gonna throw some spice in here for Aaron. I think somehow, some way, Green Bay is gonna be the team playing Tampa to go to the Super Bowl.
Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, forget him. Nobody likes him. This
I
team
know
don't like him.
nobody does, but
I think the Cowboys could. I think the Cowboys could beat them.
See, I don't believe the Cowboys. The Cowboys look great right now, but I don't believe in them.
Cowboys are terrible.
Aaron
I gotta
Rodgers
see him
wants to
do
go to
it.
Pittsburgh.
I gotta see him do it.
Aaron Rodgers wants to go to Pittsburgh. Like I don't know where his mind is at.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
AC, man.
Yo, I think aren't they like 4-1 right now?
Okay.
Yo, listen.
Versus who? 4-1 versus
Hey,
who?
they just gotta keep winning
AC, let me
games for
ask
them
you a
games to
question,
matter
right?
in Green Bay
Yo,
in
AC.
the winter. Come
Yeah.
AC, take the gambling out, take all that out, right? Just your eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are the Dallas Cowboys the most complete team in the NFL today?
No. Like like you said, forget the gambling. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. Their team is built for sizzle and no real taste, no real substance. So you look at that game
sucks.
Right. You look at that game yesterday versus the Giants after coming off a big win the previous week. Well, I'm going to try not to mention the spread or anything like that, but they're one of those teams that will do well in the regular season, but they're not a real contender. Like nobody has the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, so they're
Cowboy
just
fans do.
Cowboy fans definitely do.
No, but they're stupid though. Like I'm down here now.
Yo, AC
Cowboy
getting the Stephen A on yo.
Yo, I'm in Cowboy territory right now.
You gotta
so
watch your back.
These people really be like. I went to the barbershop. These people were debating who's better, the Saints or the Cowboys. And I point out the fact that I'm like, yo, both of them suck. What the fuck are you debating? Like it doesn't matter. Who cares who's better? Like it doesn't matter. And dude, like it was silent real quick. So they're like, oh God, blah blah blah. But the Cowboys aren't a real team. I mean, I don't trust Dak. I don't trust the coach. Most importantly, I think you really see if you watch the Patriots yesterday, and the reason I put so much emphasis on coaching in football, the Patriots had lost that game. The Patriots suck, but the Houston coach is so bad. It's so bad. He's doing dumb shit where he's kicking the ball into the back of their own head. He had a good plan at first, and then once he got into the lead using that plan, he didn't know how to adjust. So he was going for it on 4th down, and the Patriots just make people mess up going against Belichick. And when you got these coaches in the league, you gotta, Mike McCarthy's, the Kingsburys, these people, and Bruce Arians. When you got these dumbass coaches, you need super, super talent to overcome them. And look at the Cowboys coach. Like, he alienated a fan base that you can pretty much do no wrong in his previous stop. So he now has a team
the only other team where the fan base cares just as much as where he came from. And look what he's doing. Same sort of shit. I don't trust him. They're smoke and mirrors. They're not the real deal.
Yeah, I don't trust the Cowboys either. They do look damn good.
In the light.
Yeah, they're not the real deal. Dallas is blah.
Man. I mean, to tie it up, I can't go against the most balanced team in the league. I mean, you got a top 5 offense, top 5 defense. They brought back all 22 starters from the championship team last year. How am I going to bet against that? That's not a smart bet. I like what the NFC teams are doing. I love what Kyler Murray's doing. I like Matt Stafford out in LA. I like, of course, you got to love A-Rod. But it's just not going to be enough. It's just not going to be enough. I think Tampa's right back where they're supposed to be in the Super Bowl. Final answers on that, fellas? Other than Spicy Ralph, with Matt Stafford fresh off a 30-pack of Budweiser Heavies?
Right. There's Bucks, man.
Bucks. More Bucks. Man, we're going to transition from the NFC again. We're going to get back into the AFC. And we got to talk about the young dude, Justin Herbert, out there doing what he want to do on that football field, making real passes. The arm talent is there. The decision-making is there. He looks like he's ready to take that next step into just this elite, quarterback realm. I'm loving it. I'm loving the maturation. I'm loving the growth. I'm loving how the team is rallying around him. I love how they're supporting him. How are we feeling about the Chargers? We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back with the clockwise. We're gonna start with Les. Les, how you feel about the Chargers and what they're doing out there?
I like what they're doing. I don't know if they can keep it up or not, but I like what they're doing. I really like their quarterback, and this is not a fluke. He was playing well last year,
Facts.
and I think once he gets more experience, it's only he's going to be the next potential. He might be the guy. He's not going to be better than him, but he might be the guy who now Patrick Mahomes got to look over his shoulder and be like, all right, this is my contemporary. This is the dude I gotta beat to get to the Super Bowl every year. He could be
his job. That's why they drafted him. He's got one job: fuck up Patrick Mahomes. That's why they drafted him where they drafted him. Absolutely, great point, Les. Great point. AD, how we feeling about the Chargers?
I really love their offense.
Uh-huh.
I don't think people give their offense credit, like the weapons they got over there.
Mike Williams is healthy, looks filthy out there. Shout out USC.
You got my guy Allen, who don't get no recognition, but he's one of them guys. You know what I mean? And to me, they got one of the most complete running backs in the NFL, Eckler. Like he does everything. Yeah, Eckler, my fault. Eckler does everything. But that defense ain't sitting well with me. But I do love what they're doing. I do think what Les said about Mahomes having to look over his shoulder. Justin's nice. Like he's real nice.
Kid's nice.
Like he's real nice. Like he can make every throw. He could scramble. And he looks very confident out there. But at the same time, man, you need a defense to support you. And besides, my guy from FSU, they suck defensively.
No, I just took a quick peek because I couldn't remember the number. Dude had 31 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
As a rookie.
Rookie record. Yeah, rookie record.
Most ever by a rookie. Rookie record. AD, part of that defense, man, I'm not sure if it was a character situation. I don't believe it was a money situation, but they let the young guy, Melvin Ingram, go. I don't even think for nothing. I just don't think they picked him back up. And obviously, he got picked up. I believe he's playing pretty well. Is he in Pittsburgh now, Melvin Ingram?
Yes.
But solid inside presence. Solid inside. I mean, I played linebacker my whole life. I don't know how you let a talent like that go for nothing. I don't believe they got anything for him, and that's part of the issue on defense for sure. Spicy Ralph, man, what up? Charles,
so a couple things. This Mike Williams went to Clemson. Yeah, Clemson boy.
Pardon me. Thank you.
Number two,
Clemson's
Ingram.
The best place for wide receivers. Facts.
Ingram is over 30 and was making like around 20 million a year. There's a salary cap thing. That's why they let him go. They couldn't afford him. Then in terms of the defense, they have two guys.
Bosa.
They got the safety and they got Bosa. That's
Derwin and Bosa. That's it.
Derwin James and Bosa. That's all
he
they
just
have.
had 17 tackles yesterday.
I know. He's a beast, but that's all they have. They need a little more. The D tackle is okay, but their linebackers leave a lot to be desired, in my opinion. And the rest of the secondary is just okay. I think Justin Herbert has best quarterback in the league ceiling. I think he can get there.
Few years.
In terms of this year, I think they have a very good team. I don't know if they're good enough to win the championship, but they could. It'd be a matchup thing. They'd have to get the right matchups to make it. I think they could beat. I think they have the team to beat the Bills. I think, in my opinion, I've watched like the Bills. I watched a couple of their games, and they'll struggle. They always struggle against elite pass rushers. Last time the Chargers played the Bills, which was last year, Joey Bosa had 6 sacks. He dominated the Bills. They lost the game because Mike Williams and the other dudes didn't show up. But defensively, they had put the Bills in check, and there's nothing that says they can't do it again this year. So again, I think it's a matchup thing. If San Diego gets the right matchup, they get the right look at the draw. If they can avoid maybe Baltimore, and they can avoid the Chiefs, they might have a shot. And I don't know if they beat the Browns twice. I'm not sure about that, but I think they have a shot. But I like Justin Herbert. I think he's a monster. I think he's getting better and better by the year. I think Miami is looking real stupid for taking Tua over him. And thank God they did so. Thank you.
Tua was a thoroughbred coming out of college, but
no, I wouldn't say that.
That hip injury is nasty. But
you couldn't pass on Tua. You couldn't pass on
He
Tua.
wasn't a thoroughbred. Like when you got all those weapons, like Jesus Christ.
He's 5'11", 100. Like nah, he's 5'11" and chubby. Like nah, man, come on now.
That title game where he came in, but
AC, bring us home with this Chargers situation. Now I'm gonna say this, fellas. The question on my board here asked if the Chargers were going to make the playoffs, and I found that to be a little disrespectful. So I just changed it. So we're going to give our takes on the Chargers because I think it's a little disrespectful. They got the second best record in the AFC, playing with they got one of the top. I believe I'm comfortable saying they got a top 5 QB in that conference. I'm comfortable saying that. I don't think it's a question of if they make the playoffs. So I tweaked it a little bit. Commish, don't kill me, but we rocking. AC.
I think what everybody said about the QB, about the kid, is absolutely correct. I mean, just like there's certain players when you watch the ball come out of his hands, you just know, you can see it, you can tell, like, yeah, that's the shit right there. But to me, their whole season really comes down to the next game. So they're on the road, to the Ravens, and I think you're going to see what type of team that they really are, because what could happen if they get waxed by the Ravens? So I think they got the Ravens. I know they got the Patriots in there. And then there was somebody else. Oh, Eagles. So they're on the road to the Ravens. They got the Patriots at home. Then they go on the road to the Eagles. Those are a game that if they lose at the Ravens, the Patriots, although, like I said, I'm not a believer in the Patriots, but the Patriots will present a tough test for the kid, for the QB with Belichick. And then they go on the road to the Eagles. I think those
that
are,
Ravens game.
And that's what I mean. It depends on how they lose. Like if they lose and they just get beat 7 or whatever, cool. But if they go on the road and they get exposed as pretenders and not contenders, that could carry over versus the Patriots, and then they're going to go back on the road to Philly. And Philly is not like a great team, but they're a good team. They're a tough out in Philly. So now you go from, what are they, 4-1, 5-1, 4-1. Now you go from 4-1 to 4-4, all within the space of 3 weeks.
They're not losing to the Patriots. They ain't losing to the Patriots.
Are you sure about that? Sure?
Can you tell me who the Patriots secondary? Who's their starting corners?
J.C. Jackson
and some other dude.
Yeah. How does J.C. Jackson do versus number 1 receivers?
How did they do versus Brady? When the Patriots come up for a game, they come up. Period.
No. That's Brady. That's different. Let's not do that.
I think what the Patriots are
The
doing
Patriots
right
haven't
now.
been torched. The
Yo,
Patriots haven't been torched.
They got the fourth best defense in the NFL.
I think what the Patriots are. I think the Patriots' main problem is that the Patriots, and why the Patriots aren't a very good team right now, is because they play down and they play up to competition.
And that's not a good team, and they will play up to Herbert. And that's what I'm talking about.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
Justin
don't
Herbert
see
versus
so.
Keenan Allen is going to be a long day for J.C. Jackson. I'm sorry.
I don't
No,
see the
Patriots fan.
Patriots.
It's a long
I don't
day.
see the Patriots going to that game. And let's say the Chargers are coming off a loss to the Ravens. Let's say they're coming off a loss where, they get waxed. Now they got the Patriots at home. They got Belichick, who's got some time to plan for this kid. I think the Chargers win that. Right. I think the Chargers win that game, but I'm not comfortable putting that game on my board right now as lock it in. That's the Chargers win. So the Chargers could be looking at three losses in a row.
This is my thing, though, fellas. Like, let's not forget. Like, 'cause I see even people like in chatting, right? Like, Justin's not a rookie. He's not a rookie. Like,
he's not a rookie, but he's still
everybody
young.
keep labeling him like he's a rookie. Like Belichick's gonna scramble his head. Like, is he?
It's his second year playing. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
He's still young.
He just broke the rookie record last year.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like this man, he is a different level type of dude. People might not want to believe it, but he is.
I'm not denying the level of QB that he is. What I'm pointing out is I think their coach is younger than everybody on this panel right now. And I don't believe that they're at that point to where they're actual contenders. I think they're at that point to where they're knocking on the door. So maybe
they're on their way.
Right. Next year we can see, like, if we turn our head, we will all be like, yo, I see you coming. But I don't think if we saw them behind us, we ain't worried. You know what I mean? I think they're on that level team to where we know that they're coming, whether it's next year or the year after, they're going to get there. But in terms of this year, that's what I'm saying. That Ravens game, if you pressing me to make a prediction right now, I would say, let me wait till I see that Ravens game. Because I would love to see how they do on the road versus a team of that caliber to who I think is the best team in the AFC. Let me see that. They should have. If the Browns had a good coach, they lose that game yesterday at home. So let me see what they look like when we come back after that Ravens game. That's really when I want to talk about the Chargers. I think it's a little bit premature right now.
I disagree. I think they were close last year. They lost like 5 or 6 games by like one possession, and it was mainly coaching that the reason why they lost. They lost a whole lot of games by. I remember the Bills game specifically. If the coach wasn't incompetent, and I hate to say about a black coach, but if he wasn't incompetent, they win that game. They win a handful of games if it wasn't for bad coaching. All those mistakes they made last year. Huh?
We tell the truth on S&T. Shout out to that brother, but you got to tell the truth.
It's true. Listen, he was incompetent. It was incompetent. It was bad coaching last year, and it fixed the issues that they had last year. They've fixed, and they've taken a step forward. I don't think it's a fluke at all. I think they're much more of a contender than people give them credit for. And I don't know if the Baltimore is going to be a good matchup for them because Baltimore's secondary is still depleted. But I don't know how this will work for them.
So look at the teams ahead of them. Let's talk about the Bills. You talk about the Chargers, and even if it's Kansas City, whatever you want to rate them, in weeks to come. Did the Chargers get better than those teams that were already ahead of them? And my answer would be no. So that's where they're at. They're better than they were before, but are they better than those teams that were already ahead of them? I don't think so.
Yeah, they're getting off to a hot start. That Ravens game, I don't think they're beating the Ravens. And I'm not willing to go out there and say the Patriots are going to beat them at home. I think the Patriots are going to give them trouble, and because of something you touched on, Ralph. I think Bill Belichick's a much, much, much better coach than they are than the Chargers coach is. So I think they're going to play them in a way where it's going to slow. It's going to be an ugly game, and who knows what the weather's going to be like in New England. I think if they end up losing,
they're in San Diego. I mean, LA. They're in LA.
Oh, really? Okay, I stand corrected then. So it might then. Then that all might go through the window. But I still think that's going to be a tough game for them. I think that's going to be a trap game for them.
I got the Chargers by 14, easy, minimum.
All right. That's
And
tough.
Ralph,
Yo,
I'm telling you, I don't think the Patriots
I'll
are very
take that
good,
action.
but
I
they
would take that action gladly.
they play up to competition. They play down to competition so far this season.
Right.
Yo,
You know,
hold on.
so that's all I can really say.
So Ralph, you giving me 14 on that game? I'll take 50 on that right now. I'll take that 14
Yo, get AC
right now.
ass out of here.
No, we can wait for next
Well,
week.
AD,
We
you
can wait
know,
for next
nobody
week.
took the headphones out. He said, what? What?
Yo,
What?
that's I was like, hold on. I'll do 100 real quick.
No.
Yo, fellas, I just want to throw a couple other pieces in here before we get to some of the closing arguments. What the fuck is going on with kickers in the NFL?
Niggas don't kick though. Niggas don't practice that shit no more.
I said, I'm watching this shit yesterday. I'm like, yo, I've been watching the NFL in their 30 years. And I said, I ain't never in my life seen no shit like this. Like,
Niggas ain't practicing.
kick after kick. Y'all got one job. One fucking where the fucking Martin Grammaticas and the Vinatieri's motherfuckers where you could just go to the bathroom after the touchdown because you already knew it was 7 points on the board when you got back. You get your snacks and shit. You already knew. That's when you went and got to a drink, refilled your shit. If whatever you had to do, you could do that then because you knew it was just a simple ass kick.
That's why they
kickoff.
That's why they moved. That's why they moved the extra point back. First of all, remember Belichick actually pushed for that to be moved back, and that was one of the reasons. They said either you give it an automatic point or you move the shit back and make it an actual play, and it's done exactly what they wanted it to do, to where it's no longer an automatic point, and that's a huge thing.
But less the PAT, AC. I'm just talking about chip shot field goals too. The shit is crazy.
Yeah, against the Pats game had a couple of those missed field goals. No.
Fuck that Pats game. Let's talk
Green
that
Bay,
Bengals
Green Bay and Bengals.
Bengals, 7 missed field goals.
Like, this is OG Crosby. You went out there with a full head of gray hair. You know how to do this. You've been doing this for like why has everything become so challenging?
It's because on one level too, and I have to stress this again because if you watch that Packers and Bengals game, the dumbass Bengals coach, you now have both kickers are gelling. Both kickers are missing. This fool sends his kicker out for a 49-yard field goal in overtime on a 4th and fucking 1 or 2. I think it was 4th and 2.
Rookie kicker at that, AC.
Right. And this kicker is so inexperienced. He missed the kick and is celebrating. This is who this coach decided to kick the game-winning field goal, where he doesn't even know the fucking rules of the game, to where it hits the flag and he's celebrating.
I hit a.
It wasn't that simple.
Point, AC.
It was not that simple.
Another man's arms. I said, wait a minute.
Right. And kicking is that way because you have and they moved it back because you have that, but they wanted to make a bigger part of the game because they took away kickoffs. So they took away the possible like there's no Devin Hester. If you have Devin Hester right now, he's effectively neutralized. He's effectively neutralized because of what they did at the kickoff. So they made those field goals and those extra points mean more than that. And you have dumbass coaches who don't understand the personnel on the field, and the kickers are missing, just like with Crosby. You looked in Crosby's eye, I could see his heart pounding through his fuc50 pads. And you saw the Green Bay coach before he did that last kick. They had pretty much a 45, 50-yard field goal, and the Green Bay was like, nah. At that last drive, they went, nah, let me get a little closer so this motherfucker can't miss again.
Right.
That's all, that's all coaching, and that's where they're putting these kickers in. So Belichick did the same thing. You got a guy who's never made a 56-yard field goal in his fucking life. You got a 4th and 2. What do you do versus Tampa Bay? Do you go out there and give it a try? Or do you send a guy who's old, he's on one leg, he's injured, or do you send him to kick a 56-yard field goal that you almost know is going to miss? So he had kicked like 36 straight because he's only kicked chip shots. Right. Why would you put him in that position?
Right.
And the kicking has gotten so bad, it's fucking up good coaches like Belichick.
Right.
I think these coaches go, but they have this little sheet that tells them when to kick and when not to kick, and I think coaches follow that thing to a T and they need to stop I
thought when they moved it back, I thought the analytics were going to suggest go for 2 more often, and we're not
Oh,
seeing
for
enough
two,
of that.
yeah.
I thought that was going
No,
to be the dream.
they are going for 2 more.
But
offense.
they are going for 2 more. I'm
Yeah,
about to say
they are
they
going
are.
for 2 more.
I meant like obvious situations where you would just like it's not as high as I thought it would be. I thought
But you want it to be like arena football?
not necessarily arena football, but if I'm a coach, I mean, I'm a dog. You ever give me a shot opportunity between 2 points and 1 point, I'm gonna go for 2 every single time. That's just how I rock. But I thought we would see it a lot more frequently than we do, especially because the propensity of missing at now 35 feet opposed to whatever it was before, the 10 feet, the 10 yards, the 35 yards to 10 yards. I'm absolutely going for 2. All I got to do is succeed 50% of the time. That's a failing rate. If you only succeed 50% is failing. All you have to do is succeed 50% of the time on a 2-point conversion to make up your PAT. I'm going for 2 every fucking time.
But yo, if you look at most NFL teams, they're all below 50%
on 2-point conversions because they don't do it enough. Execution is how you get better at something. You can't get better by talking about it. You got to.
So do y'all think? Do you think these kickers is practicing as much as they used to?
These kickers is rolling up. AD with
No,
you.
Thank you. I know, bro. They're not doing. They're not practicing, man. Like, you know what I mean? They're just chilling, talking, shooting the shit. You know what I mean? Talking to the fucking 3rd and 4th quarterbacks, practice players.
Right.
I don't know.
NFLPA.
I think a lot of these kickers don't have it either. I think a lot of these kickers don't have what it takes, to be honest with you, to kick it in pressure situations too.
Right.
You know, I think some of the kickers that we're used to seeing kick field goals are getting older too.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
so
right.
now we got
Justin
young
Tucker and all them. Right.
Yeah,
right,
so
right.
now we got these young dudes coming in here. I mean, it's a whole shit show. It's probably going to take a little bit of time to balance out to see what these kickers are going to be at some point.
They out here with these funny ass names. My man, Young Ho Cool. My Young Ho Cool.
Young Ho. Young Ho.
Fellas, man,
Young Ho.
unfortunate situation out in Pittsburgh, man. The kid Juju, I believe he's opting for surgery. I think he's going under the knife either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, he's out for the year.
Yeah, 4 months on the shoulder
4 months.
injury. I got a pretty. I'm gonna lead this one off if y'all don't mind. I got a pretty interesting take on it. I like Juju. I've always liked Juju. I like Juju since college. But I think this will allow Ben to be a little more intentional and a little more concise with his passing because I mean he's got 3 viable receivers. I mean, if you look at what he did last year, I believe all 3 of them had at least 900 yards. All 3 of them had at least 8 touchdowns, something along those lines. They were easily the deepest receiving corps in the league in terms of the wide receivers. I think now he's going to be able to develop a little more chemistry with the kid Johnson. I really like the kid Johnson.
I think Johnson's going to be the guy.
Of course, the dude Claypool.
You don't like Claypool?
I mean, Claypool's a dog ever since Notre Dame. 6'4" out of Notre Dame. He's a
Claypool's
dog.
that guy.
He's good,
That's
but
why
I think
thought-
he is.
Here's my issue with Claypool, AD. I don't think his route tree is strong enough yet. And because Ben is lagging in terms of getting the ball just down the field, I love Chase 9 routes. Send Chase on a 9 route is a problem for any DB. But I think with the route tree being a little compromised and Ben's elbow being a little compromised, not being able to get that ball, you don't want Ben throwing 50-yard bombs 2-3 times a quarter. You got to drain him.
Mhm.
I think Deontay Johnson becomes a more viable option because his route tree is a lot cleaner. He can do every route. He can get you those intermediate routes. He can take it down the field. He can do a lot of those things. I think now where it's not so much because I mean we're dealing with wide receivers. I played football my whole life. You're talking about divas. These are divas. You know what I'm saying? Every time back in the huddle, my head was I'm over. Now you have a little less chirping. Of course, Juju's a big personality as well. Elite, it's great talent. I mean, but I think now Ben's gonna have an opportunity to really develop some chemistry with the young dude Johnson. I think that works in favor of Claypool as well. And I think that he's going to start using the tight end a little more, which is something that has been a staple in Ben's career over in Pittsburgh, using tight ends and really, of course, getting Najee some more touches too, because Najee does that. Najee can catch that ball. I think having one less weapon actually helps them. How y'all feel? We're gonna start with AD. AD, what up?
To be honest with you, I think that they have to kind of go back to like the old Pittsburgh football ways and being a run first offense.
They got
I think they got to put more on Najee Harris.
Right.
He had 100 yards, over 100 yards yesterday. That was like their first 100-yard rusher in like I don't even know how long.
Lost 2 offensive linemen.
And at the same time, you know, that running game could also help Ben in saving him.
Big time.
You know, save his arm, save him getting hit. You know, but do I see Pittsburgh being better without Juju? No.
Now, of course, you lose.
I see them kind of being the same. I think they're gonna be. I think they're gonna compete. I think the kid Claypool and the other kid you brought up, Washington. I think they're gonna step it up a little bit. I think they gotta really hand that ball off to Harris if they really want to be.
He's a workhorse.
What they think they are.
Right.
Yeah, that's my take on it.
Thanks. We're gonna go with left, and then we're gonna go AC, and then we got my man SR close out this topic.
There's not too much to add to that. I think both of you guys are making great points with that. I would like to see Harris get the ball even more than he's getting it now. I will say that. I think they're going to have to really wear him out, get him the ball and screens, running, line him out wide, just get him the ball as much as humanly possible. I think Johnson's going to be that guy. I think Johnson is going to end up being the one for them. And no disrespect to the other guys, but I think Johnson, as Noah said, and this is why I said you both are right, his routes are just clean. And I think you can depend on that stuff. So I don't know if that's not going to make the Steelers any better. I think they are what they are right now. But, I think that's what their future is looking like for the rest of the season.
Sometimes less is more. AC, how you feel?
I mean, the Steelers are a mid-level team, lower-level team. I think this is Ben's last year, so it's
NFL or last year with Pittsburgh.
Last year with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I mean, he talked about he came in the best shape of his life this year. He's been in the league 15, 16 years. So he hasn't cared all this time. I think they need to find a replacement.
Too busy groping women.
Right. And I don't know what the rules are in terms of being on YouTube and saying certain shit without certain proof. But we all know what he is. So how can how you said, those young kids now have a chance to learn with a real QB who cares. My only concern about Pittsburgh, and I was looking for it, I'm not sure how close it'll get to the camera, but you see I got the Steelers plus 100 yesterday. That was a nice, easy win. I had to throw that.
You have a problem.
You with your gambling shit.
Dude, you have a problem.
I had to throw that out there. Huh?
AC, do you need to talk to somebody?
No, you know I manage a sports book, right? Like in an actual casino now.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Man.
Yeah, I do. I decided to just take that since I was going to be living abroad, and Thailand's closed, so I'm here for the rest of the year managing a sports book right now. So all I do is talk sports and gambling all day. It's fantastic.
Shout out my dog AC, man.
That's how you do it.
But Pittsburgh yesterday, in terms of where their team was and who they were playing, to me that's another team that on the right day that's a tough out. So looking at the schedule and looking at some of the contenders in the AFC, especially their Baltimore and Cleveland games, because I think Cleveland is going to have a tough time versus Pittsburgh, and the Bengals too. Divisional. So they can really they although that team is not good, they're going to be a team just like the Patriots that aren't good, but that are really going to decide the AFC.
Right. My man, Spicy Ralph, man, close us out on this topic, man. How you feel about this Pittsburgh situation? And of course, the young dude Juju going in there.
All right, listen. So personally, I don't like Ben Roethlisberger for obvious reasons.
I wish I knew the rules.
As objectively as possible. I say this objectively. Roethlisberger needs to go. They need to get Haskins in there like immediately. I say that because Ben's going to do what he always does. He's going to do what he does around November, late October, November. His arm's going to get tired, and he's going to start throwing ducks. And all of a sudden, he can't throw past hash marks, kind of like Drew Brees last year. Roethlisberger, he's done. On top of that, the issue I have is he's not liked. He's despised by his own teammates. I say this because was it Villarreal? Was his name Villarreal, the tackle for the Ravens?
They all fought him. Yeah, he's right. I don't remember his name, but
they were like,
right. Yeah,
he went to the Ravens. Yeah, he was like Ben He's like, we didn't block well because, well, we didn't block well, period, because there's nobody in the locker room to galvanize our troops. Because to galvanize the troops, there's no leader in the locker room. We don't like who we're playing for. We haven't liked who we're playing for since the running back left. Talking about Le'Veon Bell. They don't like Ben Roethlisberger. So even another anonymous offensive lineman said it again this year. They don't like Ben. As long as Ben is there, they're gonna have problems because they won't be able to reach their potential because they don't like playing for him.
Damn.
So to me, as a coach, you got to hear that. On top of the fact that Ben on schedule every October, November, that arm goes to the tank. Then you start losing games because he can't get over the ashes. You need a ready Haskins and get him in there and ride out with that. It's not like you have much to lose.
Wow. AD, real quick, I know you watched.
As AC pointed out, we're a mid-level team.
But you said, no, I didn't hear you.
Excellent points, Ralph. I didn't know a lot of that, man. We appreciate that insight for sure. AD, I know you must be watching that Monday night game. You just did the stink face. So, woo!
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor just took it to the house on a screen.
How far?
76 yards.
God damn, I'm going against him in fantasy. God damn. All right. Shit. Fuck me up. Fellas, I mean,
that's why I really wanted to say, because AC keep going with this Baltimore thing. Baltimore might lose tonight to the Colts.
Jesus Christ. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
That's
gonna fuck everything up. That's not gonna happen.
The reason why, right? I ain't gonna lie, right? I be thinking of like little theories and stuff, like conspiracy theory. So they interviewed my man Lamar Jackson all day today. When you usually get interviewed like that, unless you Tom Brady, you gonna lose.
I don't think so. No, they got I actually this game, unless they're looking ahead to next week, this game should be a cakewalk for them. This should be a blowout, this game.
Wow.
They already sacked Lamar a couple times already.
I just put it on in the background, but I see the score, but no, they're not gonna lose this game.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
Yeah, I already spent that money, so they need to win.
Oh my God, dog, yo.
Hey, yo, I mean, outside of being sports fans, sports fanatics, and now sports analysts, we all brothers, man. In terms of we all black men, man. And there's a situation going on in the NFL that we can't skip over on today's episode. I know AD is going to lead us off with this one. I know he's going to have some choice words and get this atmosphere right for this conversation. John Gruden apparently sent a message when he was not employed by the Raiders, not employed by the NFL. He sent a pretty offensive or pretty loose with language. He sent the email to, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was the head of the NFLPA at that point, a brother.
You're right. Yeah.
He sent with some choice words, with kind of some racial undertones. I know most of us don't go for none of that. We ain't letting nobody talk to us no kind of crazy way. I mean, we all professionals in our own right. We all men in our own right. AD, man, I got to have you lead this off. I know you're going to make it clean, short, concise, intentional. What's up, man? What's up with this John Gruden situation, AD?
The John Gruden situation is disgusting.
Sure.
I don't care if it was 15 years ago, if it was yesterday, if it was today. What he said was racist. Hold on.
Sorry, AD. You see the note down at the bottom. Someone just shared that with us. Misogynistic, homophobic language for years. Damn. Referees drafted gay players, tolerance of protesters. Damn. Right on time. We couldn't see who shared that. It just says Facebook user, but we salute you most definitely. We all about the truth over here at SNC. Salute to our user who just sent us that information, man. AD, keep going. I apologize.
So, that just adds on to the fact. Right. So, racism, shouldn't be tolerated, period. I'm surprised there hasn't been any disciplinary issues already. Soon come. I wouldn't be surprised if Gruden parts ways with the Raiders before it gets ugly media-wise. But if I was in that locker room as a player, I don't know if I could play for that man.
Straight up. Straight up.
I know we would have to have that uncomfortable conversation on how he really feels and look at me in my eyes and tell me how you really feel. Because his excuses that he's saying just don't add up. And his ignorance is being displayed, just like I don't know who shared that. Shout out to whoever you shared that. It's just more ignorance. We got to get that out the game.
Right.
We're human beings before athletes.
Facts. And men before players.
Thank you.
AD, of course, I knew you was going to be the right person to lead that off. I'm going to jump in real quick, fellas, if you don't mind, because you already know how I'm rocking when it comes to this, to the racial climate anywhere. I'm not with it, man. I think this is just a small cog in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? Racism isn't exclusive to the NFL. It's not exclusive to white coaches. It's exclusive to America. It's exclusive everywhere. I really had to put things in perspective recently where I was talking to my in-laws, and busing was in their lifetime. Busing, like we think of these historical, racial dates and racial periods, and it seems like history. We call it history. My in-laws were a part of busing. So then you start having to ask, like, shit was wicked for Black people in our parents' lifetimes. And then you look at a guy like John Gruden, who's probably around my parents' age or my in-laws' age. And then moreover, you got to look at who raised him. So he was being raised during a time where they were busing here in Boston, where my father-in-law was telling me that Blacks couldn't cross Quincy Street. If any of the listeners familiar with Boston, they couldn't cross Quincy Street. So over by like Ceylon Park, they couldn't go past that. So this is in our lifetime. This is in our parents' lifetime. So then you look at a guy like Gruden, who's of course that age, and you look at who the fuck he was raised by. If he was growing up in these times where it was okay to do that shit to Black people, imagine how he was raised. And this is why I say, like, it isn't an isolated issue. They try to clean it up and make it seem like, oh, this cop was just a bad cop, or this. No, it's an encompassing issue. You know what I mean? Those are learned behaviors. You could put any color babies down together, they're gonna play together. You have to learn to use those words. You have to learn to say those things about people. You have to learn to not like somebody based on the color of their skin and make fun of their lips and make fun. Like, I think it's disgusting considering that the NFL is currently, I believe, 76% Black. I don't know if they're going to be able to fire him based on what AD is saying, simply because he was not employed by the Raiders or employed by the NFL. And moreover, AD, they're not going to be able to fire him because that contract is fucking wicked.
Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to fire him.
Nah, but you got to give him some type of disciplinary issue. Suspended for 6 games, something without pay.
He should be suspended, most definitely.
Real quick, AD, we athletes. We play this sport. I'm not playing for it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not playing for no white man who feels comfortable doing that kind of shit. One, at all, but two, like behind my back, and then we're not going for that. There's no excuse. There's nothing you can say to me why it was okay for you to talk about that man with those racial undertones. The fuck is you talking about his lips for? And then have the nerve to come around and talk and say homophobic shit. You worry about another man's lips. Like, the whole thing is disgusting. There's no space for that anywhere, especially in the NFL, which is dominated by brothers that look like us, dominated by Black men. The whole thing is disgusting. I don't know what they're going to do to Gruden, but as a player, there's no way I lace him up for Gruden ever again. AC, I know you can be pretty liberal with some of these ideals. I think
me. I don't think anyone's ever called me liberal in my life.
You don't see the smile. You don't see the smile, AC.
Well,
I didn't have enough sarcasm.
That actually threw me off for a second.
I knew it would. So, AC, I believe you're the perfect segue for me to jump into this. Talk to us now. How you feel about it?
So, I mean, I'm a bit more of a hardliner than most. So, I think we all know, in terms of certain words that we ourselves use as Black men, I correct people in the group. I haven't said the word nigger in anything besides an academic sort of capacity in over 30 years. I remember the last time I said it. I remember the last time I referred to another Black man that way. I can tell you the person who I was talking to, he remembers it too. So in terms of how I feel about being a black man and traveling the world and dealing with some of the stereotypes that we have to deal with, and especially being in the business world, I come down harder on the brothers than I do on somebody like a John Gruden.
Facts.
But there's two things with the Gruden situation. One, I think it's very clear that it affected his locker room. I think you saw how they came out in that game yesterday, and it was clear that was a team that was not ready to play a game of football yesterday.
Right.
So anybody who says that it didn't affect anything is blind.
Right.
With his particular situation, and I know this is going to surprise some, his excuse where he's saying that the rubber lips comment was referring to, he refers to people as liars, as having Michelin tires or as rubber lips. That's what he calls people as liars. There's two things to that. One, I absolutely believe that that's the case, and two, I actually believe he's racist. like I think they're both both true. I think
duality, both things can be true.
Right. I think in that particular situation, he wasn't particularly being racist. But I think when you add in all the rest of the stuff, and fellas, let's be real. I'm not going to say the word, but I think we've all been in locker rooms. So we've played high school, we've played college, we've played in various places. We all know that when we talk about certain things and use certain words, for example, the F word, which we'll just call it that for right now, I would say that I can guarantee you with 100% that I've said that. I guarantee you of this. Now, have I said that in the last 10, 15 years? No. But there are things that I've said. My big thing with John Gruden is he should be disciplined. He should have some repercussions of what he said. But I am not for this sort of censorship to any word can cost you a job, because if you look at a platform like Facebook, they, under the guise of getting rid of racial stuff and this and that, they can ban the stuff that you like, that you and I like. So if I want to watch Farrakhan on Facebook, I can't. If I want to watch some 5%ers and Facebook deems it as racist, I can't. So we have to look at both sides. We can't get caught into some of the liberal foolishness where now we have a blanket ban on every fucking thing that's said.
Damn, AC was cooking.
He had the gas on right there.
Hopefully he chimes back in. We'll let him close out. Ralph and then Lester. I know Lester's experience is a little different from ours. Lester's down in the South, and Lester's in a few different spaces, being a professional in the corporate world. So I know he has some interesting takes on it. So Ralph, we're gonna hear from you. We're gonna hear from Lester. If we don't get AC back, Lester will be the perfect person to close it out. Hopefully we do get AC back. We'll let him close out.
In terms of the comment, I can't sit there and say it was racist because it was an insult. To me, it's no different than snapping on somebody. I don't know what's on that man's heart. The rest of the content didn't imply racism. Just the one comment did.
Did you see the note that just came down at the bottom where further information is being released about misogynistic quotes and homophobic quotes?
So here's my thing with misogyny and the quote unquote anti-gay whatever. Here's my thing with that. Right?
There it is at the bottom. Check that out, Ralph.
Definitely a gay player and the tolerance of protests during the national anthem. Okay, so I don't know if okay, so I'll start with the misogynistic. What did he say about the woman referee exactly? You announced the version. I don't know. I need to see exactly what it said. The reason being with even the gay dressing the gay athlete, I didn't know exactly what was said. The reason being, look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle dropped a comedy stand-up, and all he simply did was compare the life of a black man to I guess, hurting the feelings of the gay man, and now he's a homophobe because of that. So
Right.
I need to know exactly what was said, because that doesn't tell me. Dave Chappelle all of a sudden, no, go ahead. Dave Chappelle all of a sudden hates the LGBT community when he's done more for one individual than some of them have.
Right.
Yet he's been canceled by them for making an observation which was fact. So I need to see what exactly was said. Dave Chappelle. I need to know exactly what was said. In terms of the quote unquote racist comment, again, I don't know what's on that man's heart. The joke itself could be no more than that. He could have just been talking about tires. Is John Gruden racist? I don't know. I don't know that man personally. He hasn't done anything that I've seen to imply racism. Now, could he have? I don't know, but I've yet to see it. So I'm not going to just say he's a racist based off of that, because I don't think that's fair. That's just not fair. Oh well, he made a joke. Well, black people, I mean, people I know have made dark black lip jokes for years. Like, if whatever, you know what I mean. Now, could the players have, had more experience and seen some shit and put two together and like, okay, you're a racist? That's very well possible as well, in which they acted the way they did yesterday, and I have no problem doing what they're doing. In terms of his discipline, I think they can fire him under the guidelines of the same reason why they can fire Urban Meyer for getting a lap dance, and the same reason why the Patriots released Antonio Brown with no pay for something he did before he got to New England. It's very well possible. So I'm very interested in seeing what the NFL is going to do, because in other situations, people have lost money, lost their jobs for doing the same and or in some cases less. So I need to know, NFL, because you have all the emails. I need to see what you're going to do. I need you to release all these emails just like you did for the Patriots once upon a time. I need all these emails. I need to see all that. I want to see all this so we can make the judgment as to what to do with him. Because just the one comment alone doesn't imply racism, and it implies disrespect. He has no respect for that man. But he wouldn't be the first person I heard disrespect that man, even though some of the players don't like that man. So it's kind of hard to call it racism when that man, DeMaurice Smith, specifically the head of the NFLPA Players Union, he's a very well disliked man. So I'm going to pause for judgment until more evidence comes out. That's just me.
Well, I think the government shut me off. I got everything just blinked out on my end, so I missed the beginning of what you said. So I missed some of that, but I see what you're saying. I do agree with some of that. But to me, if you have the balls to put what he put in an email to where it's going to be recorded, then just like with the cops, if they know they're being recorded and they're doing the shit that they're doing, imagine what they do when they know that they aren't. Right. So
see, hold on, bro. We're gonna let you close it out. We're gonna let you close it out. I gotta hear from Les, and then we're gonna give you the mic to close out.
Go ahead. I want to make sure you can hear me, because I'm having difficulty here. Go ahead.
Oh, good. I see. I gotta hear from Les. I know Les has some interesting perspectives. Les has been a professional for a long time. Les is a little older than us. Les is down in the South. I want to hear. I know how Les, how he feels about these things. Knowing Les online for some years. So I'm interested to hear what Les got to say, and AC will let you close it out. Les, how you feel, man?
He's a fucking liar. Number one. He's a liar.
I'm scandalized.
Yeah. Oh, he is definitely a fucking liar. He's lying. Because I've done things that I've been sorry about, and I come out and I say it. This guy literally, I'm sorry, but the reason I did that was it was a joke. This is what I call people who are lying, blah blah blah. No, dog, you are a liar. Number one, I've never heard that statement calling someone. Dude, I've just Googled DeMaurice Smith, and no, dude, what the hell is this dude talking about? Number one, he's getting a pass because he's part of the Good Boys Club. I've been complaining about how the owners look after their own in the NFL and in sports in general for years. let's keep it a buck. John Gruden is barely over 500 in his career coaching record. I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have this fabulous coaching record, but because he's his character in Chucky with their hair and all this other bullshit, he gets jobs offers over other qualified black men in the league.
That's true.
They're taking care of their own, and then furthermore, he said, you know why he emailed that? He emailed that with a smart man wouldn't put that on record, but he feels like he's emailing in a confidence with the people who get what he's saying, people that feel and agree with the views that he feels. He didn't think years down the road someone might see this shit and be like, yo, we should probably release this because this could come back and hurt us and blah blah blah. We gotta protect this $1 billion brand. That's the only reason it's coming out, because if someone else would find it and the media got wind of it before it came out, there'd be a lot more people that would have to answer to this. He's a liar and he should be fired. I don't and to be honest with you, Aaron, I get what you're saying, but I think he should be fired mainly because he's a liar. Because he's lying. He's not owning up and said, I made a mistake, I made a bad joke, and none of that shit. He's lying, dog. Right? And he's being protected. Now, and what's gonna suck, and maybe I'm going off on a tangent, what's gonna suck, and I am not homophobic, but if he does get fired or in trouble, it's gonna be more for anything that was said that was deemed homophobic. I guarantee it.
Facts.
And that's all I gotta say. Because I'm gonna get hot.
The big guns. Thank you for bringing out the big guns.
Right.
F-bombs, concise arguments, great point. Shout out to my dog Lester down in the South, man. We needed that. AC, man, I think it's only right for you to close us out, man. You were making some excellent points. Finish up what you were saying before we go, brother.
I gotta answer what Lester said because I was perfect.
Please.
I think we all know, and this is what's unfortunate. We all know that whoever put that little blurb that they had, in the chat from the Facebook user, we all know that the rubber lips comment is going to get him a slap on the wrist. Now, if he comes out with who's the gay dude, doesn't he have a gay player right now?
Maybe
yes.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Matt, the best player, Max Williams, is it Max?
Yeah, it's one of them. So if it comes out that guy says, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable with what he said," or the gay community as a whole starts protesting him, right? If that community as a whole starts protesting him, he's gone. And I think that's a major problem. But I do believe that the bigger problem, regardless of all that, to me, the bigger problem is his contract. I think he's 10 years, $100 million or something like that.
Yep.
The bigger problem is his contract. And two, what would definitely get him fired is that now the Raiders repeat the performance they had yesterday.
Right.
I think the football aspect.
I hate to cut you off real quick. I just wanted to touch on what my man Spicy Ralph said in terms of the Chappelle reference. Chappelle said it best. He said, "Black people, we don't hate LGBT. We're jealous. We're jealous.
Yes.
You guys are going to get the results that we deserve. We don't hate y'all. We're just a little jealous that y'all organize and y'all come together in unison and y'all shut shit down that impacts y'all, that affects y'all.
Yes.
We're jealous. We don't hate y'all. We want to
exactly
in terms of unity and in terms of being a united front on these issues so that they can't play with us like they don't play with y'all." Keep going, AC.
And I'll close it out by saying this because we brought that community up a bunch of times. For me, I think the media's hyping up of other, whatever you want to call the marginalized communities. I think one of the reasons that LGBT community or what have you has the power that it has is because it is an open attempt to marginalize the pain and struggle that Black people have. So if you make the problems of other communities seem bigger than what they are, then when we actually have legitimate issues, we go, "Oh no!" Immediately they go, "Well, what about them?" Or they say, "Oh, you should be allies." Yep. No, you know what I mean? What allies were they allies when we were trying to get our shit done? Now we got to join everybody else, and I think Gruden's situation sums it up because that shit's been out for a few days now, and nothing's happened. But now you're starting to see more stuff. Oh, he said rubber lips. Oh, shame on him. But now he's starting to say there shouldn't be women refs, or certain players shouldn't be in the league.
Now you're going to see actual vitriol. And I think that the reason that is at the top of the media's list is because every time they hype another situation up, it puts our situation further down. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I think that is where we should not tolerate that. So if we're saying that Gruden has to be punished, then we have to, in turn, look at every time somebody else brings up someone else's situation, we have to go after them the same way that they go after us. And that is where that's what we're not doing, at the moment. But, I'll close on, I talk about that shit all night. But
I'm with you, Aaron.
I'll leave that.
I agree. I completely agree.
Man, I know somewhere Dr. Rufus Falk is proud of the way we just addressed that. I know my man Steve Wilson is proud of the way we just addressed that. I know my man C. Mills is proud of the way we addressed that. My man Jeff Gray, other members of the group, man, who do constant advocacy work for us and what we go through. Fellas, man, this show took a turn, but it took a turn for the best, man. As always, S&T Sportsman, we don't only do sports, man. It was only right that we spoke about this stuff. I think all you brothers really offered us perspective, offered us, different scopes. I think what Ralph was saying was from the other side of things, but it was a look nonetheless. Great show, fellas. I'm honored to be on here with y'all to talk about some of these things, man. Like I said, follow us on every platform, man. Social media, S&T Sports, sitandtalksports.com. Make sure you tap into the YouTube. We are the intersection of sports and culture, man. We'll be back next week, fellas. I appreciate y'all. AC, AD, Les, Spicy Ralph, my guys. You know what we do, man. S&T, we out.
All right.
Hey.